Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to our channel, Commentate the Fandoms. This video is a bit late because my computer decided to be a big butt and delete the video that I had after I finished editing it. It's completely gone. I couldn't retrieve it, not even from the recycling bin. It was just gone. So irritating. So now I gotta redo the whole video, which is, well, trying to figure out why Steven hates Kevin so much. Now, Steven as a character is a very loving individual, very empathetic, very open-minded, and forgiving because, let's face it, he keeps trying to befriend beings who straight up want to murder him, regardless of if they think he's rose quartz or not. They want to kill him or imprison him, one or the other. And he always tries to make friends with them, make peace with them in some way. And in regards to humans as well, any of them who are grumpy or mean-spirited towards him, he's always trying to befriend them or figure out what their problem is to help them, and that kind of thing. The biggest example would be Lars, who's like possibly the biggest jerk in the show. I really cannot stand him. And yet Steven seems to adore him for some reason, despite all the foul things Lars would say to him, how he would pick on him, and generally just want nothing to do with Steven himself. Now we enter Kevin. Good old, it's party time, Mr. Popular Kevin. Now, maybe this is because in the most recent episode I saw him in, he just seems to have gotten more attractive, you know? But really, why does Steven hate him? They went to his party, both Steven and Connie, because they had some sort of tiff, which maybe I'll make a video about that later, because that whole argument, there was something wrong there with that, and then the way that it got settled. Anyway, back on topic. Kevin was having a party and he wanted to invite Stevani, right? A person who he first having met was interested in. He just wanted to dance with her, maybe talk her up a bit, or them up, I should say. I'm really not sure if Kevin thought Stevani was male or female or just didn't care because Stevani's good looking, you know? Anyway, and as soon as he found out that Stevani was pretty much two kids in a trench coat trick, he dipped out. He wanted nothing more to do with it. And then they meet again, and it was for a car race. And he, you know, was being rather douchey and made up a fake sob story that made Stevani real angry to realize that they were being lied to. But honestly, he could have lied about lying to them. They really know nothing at all about Kevin. They just immediately hate him on the spot ever since that whole incident where he just wanted to dance with them, which is really weird. I don't know if it's mainly Connie's influence while they were Stevani that affected Steven to this point, but the fact that Steven himself is so gung-ho about disliking and hating Kevin and not caring at all about him. Like, they humiliated him at his own party when Kevin actually went straight with Steven. He was being straight up with him, honest, that he invited Connie to his party and he'll invite him too. He didn't know that they were having an argument, but he was like, okay, if you guys make up, I'll invite you too. I'll even help you make up. Okay, you're not even talking? All right, let's see what we can do to work this out. Now, see, I've seen other posts about people saying that Kevin was still a jerk and he didn't really care about their relationship or whatever because he wanted something out of it, but so what? He just wanted to have a really good party. And technically, he's being a host to two of his guests who are miserable, and he is seeking to correct that to make them feel better so his party can continue going on being great. Now, any other time, voicing it like that, he would be a pretty darn good host. He's making sure that the people at his party is having a good time. He's acknowledging problems that they have if they bring it to his attention and is trying to help them fix it at his party. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. And in most cases, pretty much everybody does things for other people for an ulterior motive, for a reason. Okay, whether it's to make themselves feel good, make the other person feel good because they want something out of it. But he struck a deal with Steven, okay? Struck a deal with him, and Steven reneged on it. He pretty much lied, and he didn't even feel bad about it. He's like, I almost pity him. I think he got his heart broken. And then they're like, whatever. Who cares? It's Kevin. And then they laugh and they leave. Now that was, basic human and child cruelty, sure, whatever, making fun, not caring, haha. This is Steven, people. Now, I noticed in more recent episodes, he seems to be really lacking in his communication skills, which I find really strange. Not fully giving, relaying information like he should, trying to keep misunderstandings to the ultimate low levels or whatever. Instead, he just says something and without any regards to how it could be taken or misconstrued, which is weird. And what made it even weirder was this episode with the pool party. Like, I don't know if there's been any more episodes with Kevin after this, because I have not kept up with episodes after it got confirmed that Steven is a princess. Ever since the show's conception, I've been of the mind frame that he's the heir to something. He's got to be like a prince or something. He's part of a royal bloodline. He's high up in, the tier in the food chain. And I was right. So I was like, hashtag Princess Steven. But, yeah, it's just, like, I actually felt really bad for Kevin because he made a deal with Steven and he held up his end of the deal. He even got, a bit more personal. He was legitimately trying to help. He wasn't trying to, like, back out of it or steer him wrong or make the situation worse. He used his own experiences and his own knowledge of what works and what helps in order to help Steven get back with Connie. And it essentially kind of worked, actually, by the end of the episode, because the two of them finally got to speaking, worked out what their issue was, and ended up being best jam buds again. Like, but then they just left. They let Kevin fall into his pool where he quite frankly could have ended up getting some water in the lungs. That's not good. And then they just left. While on one hand, it's real cool for Kevin's party, to have a bunch of people see a freaking lion, a tame pink lion being ridden on by a couple of kids walking on water. The lion was walking on water, people. It's like, that is some magical crap. And then he roars, which is always a cool thing to see a lion do. But then he roars, and this portal of light pops up, and then he's just gone through the portal of light. That's got to be one of the coolest things you could ever see at a party. Okay, even though Stefani didn't actually show up, both Steven and Connie were there, but they still did not fuse. And while there was a previous episode where they didn't like Kevin being the reason that they fused, he didn't actually make them fuse that time. They did it on their own out of some over-the-top aggravation and irritation at Kevin from when they first met him, which I honestly still don't understand why they're so emotional over that, which is why I think Connie's influence of emotions messed with Steven, because I'm not quite so sure about Connie. We never really got to see how she handles a whole lot of different situations with different types of people or whatever. We've seen it with Steven, though, because he's the protagonist. And for him to act this way is mind-boggling to me. There's really no good reason for him to treat Kevin that way and to renege on a promise and a deal he made with Kevin when he did help him. Kevin didn't even do anything all that bad to get such anger and hatred pointed at him. Lars, on the other hand, has. But Kevin? No. No. And to do that to him, man. Now, see, if I was Kevin, I would actually start to really dislike and distrust these two kids, because, first time, got tricked into thinking they were someone they weren't. Second time, It's not too much of a big deal. Got real competitive and whatever. He was still in his feelings about being tricked, I'm sure. And then he lost. But whatever. Third time, he actually had no beef with them, and he just wanted them to come to his party because he wanted it to be a really good party. And everybody always talks about Stevani whenever they show up. So, he was willing to get over whatever issues he had, help them out, so long as they came to his party and did their Stevani trick, because I'm not even sure if he's aware of what fusing really is, and, had a good time so that everybody else could have a super great time. That's technically all he wanted. And what do? They chuck deuces and laugh at him after they accidentally humiliated him with absolutely no regrets. Children. Nah. Okay, well, that was all I really wanted to talk about with him. I had more points and examples in the last video, but I can't remember everything that I said about it. We could talk about it more in the comments, or I might write about it in my blog on Tumblr. But regardless, it really confused me for Steven to act that way. I still can't get over it, because that was such an un-Steven thing to do. And unless they make an episode where, he finally thinks about and realizes just how wrong he was to do that and tries to make amends and then befriends Kevin, it's going to keep bugging me, because making friends with Finney and everybody is what Steven does. And the fact that he purposely does it with somebody who actually tried to be on friendlier terms with him bugs me. Because, again, Lars is nothing like that. I mean, there's Pink Lars now, and he's the... Pink Lars is whatever. I don't care how many fabulous poses they give him and how much they try to make him look more attractive in his shades of pink. He's still a butthead, and I still don't like him. I just don't. Alright, so what do you guys think about the whole pool party episode and the changes that have been going on with Steven? Do you think it's just him in puberty? Do you think it was just him being jealous, which he shouldn't have been, since technically it was also him that Kevin wanted to dance with when they were Stevani? Or do you think it's something else entirely? Let me know in the comments below. And let's see if we can figure out what the problem is, because that is crazy to me. And I'll see about catching up on the Steven Universe episodes at a later point. I've been managing to stay away from spoilers, but it seems like White Diamond might have actually made it into the picture in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna need to watch them episodes soon. Alright, talk to y'all later. Bye.